Hey there, it's your boy Krakdawg, and today I'm going to show you how to scan systems. I'm going to start with a very short, very brief explanation about how just to scan the system and turn it into universal cartographics, and then I will expand on all the different parts after that in the video on how to use your FSS and DSS, your detailed surface scanner, and your detailed system scanner. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. First off, every ship comes with the D scanner. That's your discovery scanner. That's your basic scanner. You're going to want to make sure you go into your fire groups here on this panel and scroll all the way down to D scanner. It's usually at the bottom there, I believe. And make sure it's set to 1 or 2, depending on which trigger you want to fire it from. And then you can see on the bottom right there, for me, D scanner is currently set. So we're going to find a system, find one in the galaxy map you want to scan, or if you got somewhere you want to scan it, go ahead and go there. So I'll go there now. All right, and now that we're in the system, we are going to go ahead and hold down the trigger. I'm boosting away from the stars, so I'm not too close while I'm doing it. But you can do this anywhere. Hold down the trigger for your D scanner and let it charge. You can see it's charging there all the way up, and we have our orbital plane established, as well as how many bodies are in the system. You can see all the information coming up at the top, and that's it. We have our D scan. That's all you need at minimum. So we will return to a starport and use starport services universal cartographics to turn it in. Let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, we're back at a starport. I'm actually on a fleet carrier right now, but you can do this at any starport. Usually that's where you will do it. Anywhere you can do a starport services sort of dealio. This fleet carrier just happens to have access to universal cartographics. So we'll open it up, and usually it'll be probably right about here on this particular square right here. But for fleet carriers, it's up here. So we'll go ahead and open it up, and we'll see all the data we've gathered. So for every system you've scanned, and you'll see I'll have quite a bit. You may not have as much, but I'll show you how to get it if you watch the rest of the video. So just an FYI. But this is the final step of the quick version, just as soon as it loads. Okay, after like a solid minute, it finally loaded. So you can see here I've got all these systems that I've scanned. If you click an individual one, you can see what sort of stuff you got from that system and sell it individually, or view it on the galaxy map, or you could just sell the whole page. And you can see down here you can go through multiple pages. So we could just go ahead and click sell page here. And you can see down here how many systems you sold and how much you got for it. So 50 systems, about 6.2 million. And this will be, if you got any first discoveries, I just happen to be in a very undiscovered place. You'll get all this sort of information here on which ones you were the first to discover. This can be pretty bugged, so don't worry about it too much, okay? It may be wrong. It said I discovered everybody in the Great Annihilator, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty much one of the most popular destination points. So I'm definitely not the first. But you can get it closed out on there, and you're all good to go. Sometimes you'll have more in more pages. And that's it. Let's go a little bit more in depth here. Let's use some methods to increase our credits and experience for exploration. Okay, so you're out here in a system and you want to do a more detailed scan. You want to get as many credits as you possibly can, and therefore as much experience as possible. So what do? Well, first off, obviously, when you jump into the system, make sure you do your D-scan every time. I suggest just kind of getting used to doing this every time you jump. See, up there we have 8 bodies on the orbital plane. So that's not too bad. That means we can examine 8 bodies. Sometimes it's just one, or there's only a couple and they're all stars. It'll say, scan complete already. And that means you could just zoom off. You don't even need to do this part here because there's really nothing to check. There's nothing to scan. It just is what it is. But after you do your D scanner, the next step for a more detailed scan is FSS. And so you'll go ahead and press your FSS button. For me, by default on keyboard and mouse, it was set to the apostrophe button, the same one as the quotation button. Now, you may need to check your options and go into controls, ship controls, and find out where your FSS is set to. But press that button, and you can see this sort of menu FSS mode. Okay, so it looks really complicated right now, but it's actually really simple to use. Okay, and a lot of it's not important. Okay, so you can ignore kind of the stuff on the left there. The bottom left has got your percentage of how much you've discovered body wise. Not too important, to be honest, because on the top right you can see the exact number. We have one of them discovered, which is the star, and there are 7 more for a total of 8 bodies, and that means only one of them is a star. We can look at the bottom here, bottom middle, and you will see the filtered spectral analysis. This is very important. This is your bread and butter of the FSS. Okay, so you can kind of move this around. I presume on keyboard and mouse it's arrow keys. I have a different thing for it on my HOTAS, but you can move this left and right and tune into different signals. You can see right here we've got a couple of signals that are, you know, a high, sort of, you know, higher pitch, like pitching up or whatever sort of dealio, a little stronger. So we'll tune into those. Usually you'll see more like, especially in the bubble and core systems, inhabited systems, you'll see a lot of ones down here at the end for this is, and I'll go over, you know, what they sort of are here real quick. This is for like signal sources down here, right? This is for like fleet carriers and stations and stuff like that, if there are any special ones. And then you start getting up to here, which are like icy, rocky planets, right? You can see at the bottom right, signal analysis will tell you what it is. Asteroid cluster. Here we got metal-rich bodies, then high metal content worlds, rocky bodies, icy bodies, rocky ice worlds, all the way up to Earth-like worlds around here, which is, you know, prime, by the way. Ammonia worlds, pretty prime as well. Water worlds, again, prime. Gas giants, pretty regular, kind of hard to do a full scan for. Just FYI, we'll go over that later. And these are all gas giants all the way to the end. You'll never see anything right at the end here, at least as far as I can tell. And black holes will appear somewhere on here, depending on their mass. I don't remember where. But you can't really scan them. They're considered kind of like stars as well. Okay, so I know that was a bit long-winded, but now we know kind of what that means at the bottom, because that is the most important part. From here, you can kind of just tune into it. Just make sure your line is well on that signal. And I usually like to choose one that's kind of closer to the middle, because if you have some signals that are off to the side here, because you can see right now, if you look at my middle reticle, I have arrows pointing up to the top right here, and it's pointing to like a glowing spot here. And that is where a planetary body is going to be. The arrows are telling me that I'm tuned into the kind of this area on the spectral analysis at the bottom. Therefore, you know, like point me in that direction when I get close. That's why I scroll around. Watch, if I scroll away, it'll disappear. But since I'm tuned into that sort of like little spectrum, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You see, if we do it down here, it still shows up, right? Right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're on the right one. We're going to scroll right over the middle of it. There will be a circle there somewhere, and that's what we're looking for. We don't have the right, there we go. At the bottom, we tuned into the right signal type. And now that we have these circles, it's usually just one, can be overlapping ones like this, in which case we're going to have to like zoom in sort of and get them. We're just going to press the trigger or whatever button you set to go into it. But for me, it's the trigger on my HOTAS. I'm assuming it's left mouse button for you. So just click on it, and we zoomed in. If it's not overlapping or there's not other things there orbiting it, then it'll just give you the full discovery or whatever, you know, you'll be fine. Also, if you pass by any sort of bodies, you'll discover it as well, so you don't need to always do this. Sometimes you'll see they're already discovered, stuff like that. All right, so we scroll down. We know we're already set to this, so obviously this is what this is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this circle, and we will discover a body. Excellent. This one is totally undiscovered because you don't see at the bottom. There's no discovery data, but sometimes you'll see names down there. There is first to discover it, first to map it with the DSS, and first footfall, which is first person to actually land on it and step out of their ship. Okay. Since I'm out in kind of a, you know, uninhabited, really uninhabited territory, a little bit off the galactic center, there's a lot of undiscovered stuff out here, which is why I'm doing this, and this is kind of like a great example. You can kind of see what it looks like outside of normal, you will see most of the stuff if you're in core systems has already been discovered. Pretty much all of it. Okay, not saying not literally all of it, by the way, but pretty much. So okay, we got our one here. We're gonna back up. There's a button for backing up. Again, all these buttons, when I tell you what to do, you kind of have to just look in your own control menu. Right, because everyone's got a specific style. I can't tell you what yours will be, but you can find all these. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna zoom out a little bit. Excellent. You can see at the bottom left here, I have my menu. My controls. So if that helps you, wonderful. You see sometimes it'll come up as question marks, like for tuning. Sorry, yeah, like, if that happens, you do have to go into the menu and look it up. All right, we've got another one here, and it looks like that's all of them. We can kind of zoom out a little bit. Yeah, that's all of them. No more glowing spots. The glowing spots are kind of the indicator, as well as the arrows that come over the center reticle. All right, so we're just going to scroll along. This dark gray line is the orbital plane, by the way. Once we've used our D-scanner, we discover it, so we know kind of where it is, and we can do this. Okay, so I just usually follow it, right? Scrolling over it. And here we found another one. Let's go ahead and grab that one. Beautiful. We'll just start to go a little faster here. Do we have another one? I just do this as fast as I can until I start to see those arrows pop up and you see it, and I immediately stop. Also, if you go over a signal, no matter what kind of signal, or like signal for the planet or a signal for an unidentified signal source, no matter what it is, it'll slow you down when you go over it. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one. You can see we're up to 5 out of 8 bodies now, and I'm just going to keep on blasting through it. We can see some more spots over here. These are a little different, so I'll come back to them real quick. I presume this one, this one will be the same. And you can see now, look, where we used to have this, you can see 5 icy bodies listed there, the number 5 and light blue circle representing icy bodies. However, the line is gone. There's no more sort of wave, frequency thing there. Yeah, okay, that means we've discovered them all. So they'll disappear as they get fully discovered, and you can know, like, oh, well, that means if this is all there is, then over here, when we go over here, sure enough, right? Yeah, see, it's what it is. They're all that. They are all going to be rocky ice worlds, as you can see at the bottom there. We'll go ahead and discover them. And I'm moving kind of quickly, so I apologize, but, some systems you can have 30, 40 bodies. And see, it'll tell you when you're done, you've discovered all of them, but you can also look at the top right. And that is a full FSS, okay? It's a little complicated. You can back out of it, right? It's a little complicated, I know, but once you start getting to do it, you'll do it very quickly. And in fact, you don't have to do that for most systems. It's just helpful for being able to find specific kinds of bodies you're looking for. Because see, if you're only hunting for like 1 or 2 different kinds that are going to net you a bunch of credits, you can kind of ignore all the rest of them because you know where that signal is going to be on the bottom, right? So use that as your indicator. D-scan, get into your FSS, see if your signal type is there on the bottom. If not, move on to the next one. And that's what I do. I jump. And it can take a while, but it's a lot more efficient. I just found an Earth-like planet earlier today, completely undiscovered. So, you know what I'm saying? It works. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna also I'm gonna show you what the sort of the loop of this is, the gameplay loop, right? Okay, so we have another system targeted, so we can move on. This one's complete. It's nothing special. We're like if there was a water world or an Earth-like planet here, we would want to scan the surface and get that as well. Not necessarily, but if you really care about exploration credit and like maximizing your credits and stuff, then you will go ahead and detailed surface scan it. I do highly suggest it. Earth-likes especially are worth a lot. Ammonias and water worlds are also worth a lot too. High metal contents are worth a little bit. Everything else is kind of pocket change. I wouldn't worry about. I'm gonna be honest. Unless it's an ammonia bait, like a gas giant with life or something, that's also worth quite a bit. Gas giants can be really tough, though, because they have rings. Alright, so we've hopped into another system, and I'm de-scanning right away, trying to avoid hitting the star, but I am still going forward. As soon as that's done, sometimes even while it's going, I will SCO boost forward. If you don't have SCO, don't worry about it. Just get out of the way of the star, and I will slow to a stop. And then I will open up my FSS, take a look at this. I don't see anything particularly interesting. This is a ice world. Let's see if I can guess it right. Oh, high metal content, not bad. Um, two. I might scan it actually, and a gas giant. So we got one high metal content, one gas giant. Let's go ahead and scan it actually, because that's easy to fill out, and I'm sure it's probably not discovered yet. So you can kind of see how I do this quickly. There's our gas giant, beautiful. We'll scroll down to high metal content, kind of keeping along the dark gray orbital plane line here, just seeing if we can spot that little glow. We don't see it, so we're gonna kind of scrolling around, you know, right? Trying not to go over the same spots too many times, but just seeing if we can't catch it, and there it is. You just kind of gotta look for them sometimes. See how quick that is? Nice and easy, completely discovered, and nice and done. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Let's go ahead and map another one here. We'll scroll. We'll zoom out here. We'll just grab a random one. Plot a course, and let's move. And you'll see I'll do this quickly, okay? I'll do this 2 or 3 more times, and then we'll go over the detailed surface scanner, the DSS. Not the D scanner, but the detailed surface scanner, okay? Just to be clear. So once we hop in here, we will go ahead and just watch what I'm doing. I'm not gonna narrate it, just watch it, okay? And just like that, we're already back to jumping. It's almost like, you know, nothing, there was no extra time taken. I'm kind of maximizing here, right? You're popping your D scanner while your FSD is cooling, okay? And while you're on your last leg of your FSD cooling, you slow down to a stop, check the FSS, see if anything good's there. If there is, slow down, do your thing, check it all out. If there isn't, close it and continue forward just as soon as the FSD cools down into a jump, right? And continue on your path to whatever you're doing. So I try to plot, like, you know, make sure my route's pretty good here, because you just kind of, like this, you just get into a hang of it, right? It's done, stop, slow down, check FSS, nothing cool, continue the jump. Make sure I'm speeding up. There we go. See how quick that is? So that's it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just try to detailed surface scan something here. Hopefully there's a planet here at the next system. Let's find out. All right, we're here. Let's check it out. And yeah, we've got plenty of planets. That's wonderful. Let's pick something a little bit smaller. Icy bodies and rocky bodies are usually pretty good for that. All right, I think that'll do. If it's a moon, even better, because they're small and quick to show. And then I'll show you also what a gas giant looks like. And I won't do it, but you'll see how they're vastly different for detailed surface scanning. Let's just see, where is this? It's a high metal content world. Why not? There you go. That's pretty normal. It's going to be like a 6 or a 7 probe, and you'll see what I mean here soon. And we're just going to go ahead and... I think this one has moons, so I think this is where we'll find our icy moons. Wow, look at that. Whoa. That is a big ring system? Is that just me? Am I tripping? A little crazy. We might check that out, actually. That's pretty cool. That'd actually be a... Might have some interesting stuff I can show you, believe it or not. Okay, so we're actually just going to go straight to 3. So now that we've discovered it, you can also see it in the system map, right? All right, beautiful. Love it. These are undiscovered, so they won't show up unless you discover them. In the core systems, usually they'll show up on their own. So we're going to set a target for 3. And we're going to fly straight there. Okay, and we're coming up on our ringed high metal content planet. Got this little moon down there to the bottom right, if you see it. And let's go ahead and get a better look at it. I know I said, you know, we're just going to do something without rings, something easy, something small, but this is both. And I don't have to go to a gas giant to show you what I mean with the rings. Okay, so this is actually a rare kind of planet that is perfect for our example. All right, beautiful. Gotta love it. All right, so let's make sure we're not super cruise assisting around it, so we don't accidentally orbit. Make sure that's turned off, right? Otherwise, you will get caught in it. And we are going to go in our fire groups, of course. we're going to go to detailed surface scanner. It'll just show up as surface scanner in here, and make sure that's also applied to a fire group. It's one of its own, and don't overlap it with DScan or anything. And you do have to buy this one. This is a module, the detailed surface scanner. Okay, you will have to buy it in outfitting at Starport Services. So I've got it ready there on my number 2 trigger. I'm just gonna go ahead and click it while we're in Super Cruise, but slowed all the way down and about as close to the planet as we can get, while keeping it, fully within our vision. Those are the parameters. And you can see we've kind of got the DSS here. It has its own sort of UI as well. Again, complicated, but don't worry about it too much. The important part is on the bottom left, you see the percentage. That's how much you've mapped. You want to get it up to 90%. Once you hit 90%, you're done. It fills in the last 10%, and you're good to go. Now, you can't just start firing probes at this thing. You can see your probes on the right. It says infinite, and you think, I'll just fire as many as I want. You only get 3 at a time. It takes a second to recharge them. And you also want to hit your efficiency target. Otherwise, you will get far less credits. You get far more credits if you hit your efficiency target. So try to do this right. If you don't care, you're really not going to make that much in comparison. The efficiency target is right there on the right as well, near the bottom. And it says for this one, 7 probes. 6, 7, that's about normal for a planet. Moons can usually be about, like 2, 3, 4, something like that. And gas giants can be in like 20 something, So just get used to that amount. And you'll kind of learn how to shoot them off to get the right kind of angle on them. But I'm going to try to give you a rudimentary idea how to do this. Since a planet usually has 6 or 7, and planets are a perennial favorite to discover and scan, such as Earth-likes and whatnot, we're going to show you here. Now, if you scroll your little thing, you'll see if you go over the rings, it'll say ring. That means you're going to scan the ring. That's for miners and stuff like that who want to check out what the mining stuff is there. Don't worry about that now, unless you're a miner and you want to mine, okay? Otherwise, try to avoid hitting the rings. It's basically the same as the miss here. If you scroll outside of its range of the planet, it's a miss. And what we're doing is trying to find a good position to shoot the probes, okay? You can see, our reticle has a line to the center of it, right? And if we go out, there's also a line here that kind of like is a circle around it. That line is whether or not we shoot it the front or the back of the planet, the one that's facing us or the one that's behind it. Okay, so if we go above it, right here, anywhere near the planet, this is all in the front. We're shooting a probe to the front of it. Okay, over here past the line, we're shooting a probe that's going to curve behind the planet. Okay, and the farther out you go, the more, the further it's going to curve and try to go behind the planet. And if you go too far out, it completely curves around and misses it. That's what that is. Okay. So for a 6 or 7, I have a method. It's a little tough since we're doing it with rings, but let's see if I can do it. All right, so we're going to press that same button, that same trigger we have it set to for DSS, right in the middle. You'll see the line kind of goes out to the side, but it's basically the middle, right? Right there, okay? And for something this small, you might want to be a little bit closer. So let's get a little bit closer without losing our positioning here. There we go. All right, and we're gonna shoot it 3 of them in kind of like a triangle. You can see right at the line, just past the line, just past it. See, you can't really see where you're aiming exactly, but just past it, right? 1, 2, and 3. All right, so kind of like a triangle. So now we've shot out 4 of them so far. We're gonna try to aim for 6 because that's usually what planets are. All right, and we got 2 more. So I like to just kind of like pick an angle that's between 2 other ones, and we'll see where the miss is. Just see where the miss is on there, and that's our limit. So we can kind of come in a little bit. We don't want to go all the way out, maybe 3/4 out past the line. Okay, and shoot one, and do the same thing to the other side. All right. About 3/4 out past the line. Make sure we don't go too far. And on the bottom right, you can see front view. And if I press the button for toggling planet side, which again, you can see at the bottom left, those buttons are displayed. You can see the back view as well. And when they land, they make that blue circle that expands to a certain and then stops. Okay, I hit 2 in the same spot. That was a terrible idea. But like I said, we saved one. It's usually kind of smart to save one if you're not too confident that you're going to get it right. So I'm glad we did. Let's see if we can grab 7%. It looks like it's pretty much all symmetric here, right? This is the front of it, the back of it. So basically, we kind of got to hit one of those three like side pieces. They're dark blue. We want to make it all light blue. If that wasn't clear already, sorry. All right, so if I want to hit it kind of just in the middle, on the edge between the two, I'll make sure that line's in the middle. So I'll shoot one more off, and let's hope. Unfortunately, I might not hit the efficiency bonus for this because I hit 2 of the probes on the same spot, but we'll see what we get. We just need to get to 90%, that's all. Let's change the view here. Let's see the front. Oh, it's going to be in the back first, yeah. Okay, we're close. Oh, that hurts. 89%. You get to see what happens when you're not exactly careful enough. We got to do the same thing over here. This will do it, unfortunately. I know it will, but we are 1% off. Anyways, yeah, just make sure, like I said, make sure you're a little careful with it. Try to find out where the best place to shoot it is. But the way I showed you is very great for a number 6. It can be a little tricky for a 7 with rings, right? Like I said, these are kind of rare, so you won't have to worry about them too much. But why this is also interesting is it has geological signals. In the top right, you see there 3 signals detected. You can see on the planet itself, it's got like a blue sort of thing going on it, you know? Like usually it's just like a full blue like grid thing, you know, on the planet when you scan it. That just indicates that you've scanned it. But in this case, when it has a geological, biological, or human, there may be more signal types, but if it has one of those signal types, it will show you where they are with that blue coloration. So we're going to go ahead and get close. We can exit now. And since it's scanned, it will, as long as we're in analysis mode, it will show us this blue stuff. If we go to combat mode, it will go away. But we want to see it. This is where geological stuff is. I'll be perfectly frank with you. I don't know what the importance of any geological stuff is here on a planet. But, you know, if you find a biological one, it's really cool to scan for exobiology. So I will not be doing a landing because there's nothing here to really check out, to be honest. But if you land on one of those blue spots down there, and it says biology, you can go ahead and scan it and stuff like that. That's how you find, you know, biological life forms that turn into Vista genomics and whatnot. Or if you need something more specific, you know, that's how you hunt for them. But pretty cool. Geological stuff can sometimes be rare minerals, so that's also something else you'll have to hunt for using the DSS. So, you know, it plays into a lot of skills. But that covers it all. Now you know how to scan everything, and if you find yourself some Earth-like worlds, some ammonia planets, some water worlds, you're gonna make decent money. Okay. If you really want to level up fast or get fast credits and experience doing exploration, I highly suggest looking up something like Road to Riches. That's sort of a thing we call the kind of like the idea, like the type of guide that will lead you, you know, it kind of gives you an exact road to follow that will tell you how to get the right kind of stuff to get all the way up there to elite. However, you can also just look up a list of Earth-like worlds that are within the bubble, and there are enough of them that you can get to elite. I know because I am a pioneer about to pop elite. So, you know, not to brag, but I did that all pretty much just scanning Earth-like worlds in the bubble. Okay? So that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, I know it was a long one, but please let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to help. This is very important, so you know, for exploration purposes. So you know, I understand the frustration of not knowing, you know, what to do. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. Have a good one.